Welcome to Learning About Dogs, a podcast for people who love learning about dogs. I'm Sue McGuire. I'm a manager of a canine behavior program at a small nonprofit animal shelter near San Francisco. And with me, of course, is Kay Laurence of Learning About Dogs. Kay and I thought it would be kind of fun to go through a couple of fallacies, myths, those things we've heard all along that involve dog training, and we never really investigated what they mean exactly. So today we're going to start off with 3 seconds. Really? All right, so I thought it'd be kind of fun or kind of torturous, depending on your view, go through some of the things that we take as gospel in our line of work. And if we were to actually look at it closer and look at the sourcing of it, we probably were on the wrong track. One of my favorites, what I learned early on, is you must feed within 3 seconds of the click.
Well, this is the difference between something that is a framework for you as a beginner and something that then needs to be dismantled as you expand. Otherwise, you get stuck in that framework and you won't be able to move forward. And I think a framework is a bit like scaffolding or wearing clothes that are too small. You can't put on shoes that are too large before you're ready to go and do those type of things. So the 3 second guideline probably suits people that are first starting to reinforce that after 3 seconds, the reinforcer might not make a connection to the behavior you're getting it for. So we can be paid by the hour, by the week, by the month, or by the year. And to be honest, if I'm not paid until the end of the year, I'm probably not going to relate it to the job that I did well in February. And I've worked for the type of geezer that says, oh, well, if you really help us out now, we'll give you a Christmas bonus. Yeah, sure. So if I need an immediate reinforcer, I need to be able to connect that reinforcer to what I'm doing well. Doing a great job.
Yep.
Great, that was a good job. So that was within 3 seconds. So when they were doing the early trials, they found that the animals were not really making a connection between what they were doing when the magazine did not dispense the food for, I think it was 5, 10, and 15 seconds. So once it went over 3 seconds, the behavior did not show any strong maintenance or repetition. So that takes away the effectiveness of that being a reinforcer because it couldn't have been measured by the repetition or strengthening of the behavior. So this sort of then turned itself round into, if you click, you must feed within 3 seconds. Otherwise, the dog will not know why it's being reinforced. Well, that's not the same thing at all. The reinforcer, again, of its time, was considered to be the pellet because that's what the animal wanted, was a pellet. But if you're living with a dog, often the relationship you have with that dog is part of the reinforcer process. So I could click and I could look at my dog and I could smile and I could start to go, oh, you did that well. Shall we go and get you a treat? I tell you what, let's walk over here and open the fridge and let's have a look in the fridge and see what we can find. Oh, goodness me, there's chicken left over from yesterday. Let me get the chicken out and take a little piece off for you. And there you are. You can have that piece of chicken. Now, if you looked at it as it was described 50 years ago, the actual consumption of the reinforcer under those conditions was probably about 15 seconds after the marker. But now we understand it's about the entire process that leads to the reinforcer consumption, not just the reinforcer itself. So to me, this is this underused timing that we have, where if I click and within that 2 seconds of clicking, I start the reinforcer process, which this dog knows ends in eating a piece of chicken, that whole process can take 20 minutes. We could be walking back to the car to get a toy, provided the dog knows this is the path that leads to the car, and when we get to the car, we'll get a toy out and we'll have playing. So we can use lots of different processes to actually make sure we're reinforcing within the time frame. But often when we do something, it's not because we're doing something that it works, it's because we're not doing the absence of something.
What do you mean?
So if you clicked and did nothing, i.e. stood there for 10 seconds and did absolutely nothing, have a piece of food. In that 10 seconds of silence, which was we thought was nothing, that dog will start to go through all sorts of displacement behavior.
Oh yeah, I felt the having dead air there for a moment. An old radio gal. I'm going, oh, that was a little bit too much dead air.
Yes, there we are. You go. So
I'm not going to.
Out. That 10 seconds of what's happening here? I don't understand. The conversation's completely stopped, and that was the killer. Not the fact that the pellet wasn't received. Obviously, if the rat's working in a mechanism that needs to deliver food, what I would like to see is another experiment. One is they mark that pellet has to travel around a whole series of pipes that the rat can work out means it comes down into the hopper. Yes, so it comes out the chute, billy 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 donk, billy 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 donk, billy 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 bing, and it lands in the bowl. It might take 7 seconds to actually get to the bowl, but because the rat knew that that's what was going to happen, that consummation, i.e. the minute it consumed the pellet, wasn't the moment of reinforcer. It was hearing it coming all the way around the pipes until it actually came out the pipe. So it was the actual anticipation of it coming had as much value as the actual eating of the pellet.
I want to reel back a little bit, though, in that I'm struggling with, during the acquisition stage, we need to teach the animal click, reinforce, click, reinforce, click, reinforce, and then you can start building air between and understanding between the click.
No. It doesn't mean you have to go fast. What would be the benefit of going click, food, eat, click, food, eat, click, food, eat, click, food, eat, click? Oh my God, that was a good one. Let me open my little box and find you a treat. There you go.
Yeah.
Which is more reinforcing?
What would your evidence be? Yeah.
Well, that's it. You have to look for it. So just to say it must be better if we do it fast, my question is, what's your evidence? And what I see is dogs that are harried, not hurried, harried into doing faster, as opposed to being allowed to learn at their pace. And to me, the reinforcement process should be at a pace that suits the learner and the behavior they're trying to learn. And if I am trying to get you to do something, what am I trying to get you to do? Go on, do it faster. If you're working on the computer and you're not very good at typing at speed, and I keep saying, yeah, go on, do it faster. Oh, that's good. Go on, do it faster. Go on, get it. Oh, God, you made another mistake. Go on, do it faster. You can just see that, when I watch these videos of this click shove, I just go, this is of no benefit to this individual.
Well, okay, so let me argue this point then. Let's say that you do your click, you do what you do, you're a little bit of, right. So, and then let's go get the chicken. Is it the click or is it you taking that sharp intake of breath and getting your eyes all big? And what's the click?
The mark that says the reinforcement process is starting. And what is marked when it starts is what will be repeated. So when I see extremely fast shove, most of those processes are about trying to stop anything else happening. So say we've got a dog that's frantically trying to jump up or pull forwards to something, or aggress at a tree standing over there. Just go click shove, click food, click food, click food, click food, click food, click food. It's not about teaching, it's about suppressing anything else from happening. Now, whether that's valid or whether you're just avoiding the situation, to me, it's a fire drill as opposed to teaching. So if you're too close to something, so say, for instance, this pup I've got at the moment, if she's anxious, she'll jump up. So if I start clicking and treating fast and feeding her on the floor, it prevents her from jumping up. And that might look like a perfectly valid reason for going, click, take a treat, click, take a treat, click, take a treat. But in actual fact, I'm hiding what's going on in this super fast cycle. ABC, 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 because I don't want anything else to happen. I don't want her to make a mistake. I don't want her to go wrong. But I'm actually not looking at what she needs at that time. So what would be the function of that jumping up? She's anxious. Well, how does clicking and treating faster actually change that emotional state?
That's an interesting concept, because I think that we're also stuck with, well, your reinforcement rate's too low. Got to keep a high rate of reinforcement.
No. My reinforcement rate is higher because I'm taking 20 seconds. You're mixing up a rate of reinforcement with a value of reinforcement.
Uh-huh.
Going at it some is not the same as having good quality reinforcement.
Oh, you just quoted Yo-Yo Ma again.
Oh, did I? Yes, I did. Yeah, there we are.
No.
Are you with me? It's not about, you can't calculate reinforcement in number of clicks per minute. That just tells me that this behavior is happening that many times per minute. But that doesn't mean the reinforcement rate is better than the behavior happening. So it depends where the reinforcer is. So say we're doing this go to mat, and the mat is placed, I don't know, 10 or 15 feet away from me. The dog goes to the mat, click. Now for me, the dog comes back, gets a treat off me, we send it out again. You can't say it's not a high reinforcement rate because the behavior takes as long as it takes and the reinforcement process takes as long as it takes. So measuring something by the number of clicks per minute is not helping unless you're actually measuring progress from the number of clicks per minute it was last week to the number of clicks per minute it is now. That just tells me that it's either a shorter behavior or a shorter cycle, i.e. the ABC is a shorter cycle. So you get more in per minute. Doesn't mean it's better
Interesting.
quality.
You know, I think that you're going to be blowing people's minds, because I know for a fact that people are just wrapped around, oh, keep that high rate of reinforcement, and not attaching at all, or maybe I'm saying that wrong. Click, 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 treat, click, treat, click, treat, click, treat. Or is it click, read, for.
Okay, so listen to mine instead. So she's now gone to the mat, click. Oh, my God, this has already started. The minute I've clicked, my reinforcement process starts. Now, out of 60 seconds, if I take 20 seconds of a reinforcement process, and she doesn't get to eat it until 18 seconds, then we allow her another 3 seconds before she's ready to start the behavior again. So that's now gone to 21 seconds out of that minute, 18 seconds of which was the reinforcement process. I clicked, I told her how fabulous she was, I headed towards the pot, I did the whole fondling of the food, as Susan says, I caressed it a bit, I made sure it was really special, and then I gave it to her. Oh, wow. She's like, I thought you had the head, gosh, that was so good. Because the most important person in her life just did something of value for her. They went shopping. They opened the fridge. They got out turkey. They gave me a piece, and she thought I was fabulous. And that took 18 seconds. The dog's now reset and done another behavior. Now, if you looked at that and measured it in clicks per 60 seconds,
3.
Wow, 3. Well, that's not very good. You need 3 clicks in 60 seconds. I can tell you, if you were on the back end of that, you would feel a far greater sense of achievement than if I made you do it 10 times and just shoved the food at you. We might have to make a video.
But I don't know if I... no, I'm going to say I'm not willing to have even my new little guy deal with that. He'd be like, stop, too much.
No, we need to. This is what the whole point of the table game was. You need to experience this yourself. You need to be on the back end of fast rate of reinforcement and fast delivery. They're not the same thing. And a slower rate of reinforcement, but with a longer quality of delivery.
Anticipation, as Pooh says.
Absolutely. Well, he didn't know what it was, did he? It was good. It was often better than eating honey.
Put that quote in. We'll throw that quote in. Yeah. I was just reading it yesterday and I went, the anticipation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And we're not using it enough. In actual fact, we're dismissing it as any value. And no, we need to go the other way. I'm going, why click, shove, click, shove, click, shove? It's come out of various different avenues, and I even wouldn't train a chicken that way either.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the history of it is interesting, but I think we now need to question it sincerely. But I've got a few opportunities to do that over the next few months.
Well, said Pooh, what I like best. And then he had to stop and think. Because although eating honey was a very good thing to do, there was a moment just before you began to eat it, which was better than when you were. But he didn't know what it was called.
Mm.
There we are.
There we are.
Thank you, Google.
And what was the one I got flicked back at me? So I sent that to Susan Friedman. And she sent another super one back.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Okay. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. Dr. Seuss.
Quoting Dr. Seuss. No. All right. Avoid confusing the rate of reinforcement with the reinforcement process. There you go. That's my takeaway. All right, so for more information and some great reading, you can always go to Kay Laurence's website, learningaboutdogs.com, or follow Learning About Dogs on Facebook. Stay tuned. We're going to do more of these kinds of episodes, kind of blowing up myths, taking a closer look at what we all accept as the truth of training. Thanks for listening.